All right, welcome. Let's talk about accounts payable. If your process feels more like a frantic paper chase than a controlled system, well, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into Xero and really transform how you manage your bills, taking you from that feeling of chaos to one of complete control. So let's get right into it.
You know the feeling, right? It's late afternoon, your inbox is just exploding with invoices in all sorts of formats. You've got PDFs, scanned images, maybe even an Excel file, and every single one needs to be opened, entered, coded, and approved. It's the daily grind for so many businesses out there. If you're sitting there nodding your head right now, listen, you are not alone. This constant reactive scramble is a super common struggle. But here's the good news. It really doesn't have to be this way. With a more deliberate process right inside Xero, you can build a system that gives you clarity and, most importantly, control. Okay, so where do we begin? We start right at the foundation. Gaining control over your whole payables process really starts with how you create the bill in the first place. Getting this part right is absolutely the most critical first step. First off, Xero makes it super easy to get started from pretty much anywhere you are in the system. You can kick off a new bill from your main dashboard, that handy little plus icon, or directly from the purchases sections. But here's the key takeaway. It doesn't matter where you start because Xero always takes you to the exact same new bill screen. And that consistency, that's what helps you build a really smooth, predictable workflow. First things first, the supplier. Just start typing their name and Xero will find them. If they're brand new, no problem. You can create a contact on the fly. And this is really important. Keep your momentum going. Don't get bogged down trying to perfect their contact record with every little detail right now. Your goal is to get the bill entered quickly and accurately. You can always circle back to add more contact info later. Now, these two dates, they might look simple, but honestly, they are the engine driving your cash flow forecasting. The bill date, that should always be the date printed on the supplier's actual invoice. The due date, on the other hand, is the date you're planning to pay it. When you get these two right, Xero's reports can give you a crystal clear picture of your future cash needs. It's how you know what you owe and when you'll need the cash. All right, we've got the foundation down. Now let's zoom in on the details. You know, the small stuff that actually makes a huge difference. These are the fields that really separate a useful record from a useless one. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? That reference field is not optional, people. This is where you put the supplier's invoice number. It might seem like a small thing now, but 3 months down the road when you're trying to figure out a payment query, trust me, this one little piece of information becomes your absolute lifeline. Okay, this next one is a total game changer. Seriously, drag and drop that original PDF or that scanned image right onto the bill in Xero. Why? Because you're creating a permanent, unbreakable link between the data you entered and the document it came from. Think about it. No more desperate searches through old emails or shared folders. The proof is right there attached to the transaction. I want you to think of this total field as more than just a box to fill in. See it as your first line of defense, your first internal control. By entering the invoice total right at the top, you're setting a target. If the line items you enter below don't add up to that exact amount, Xero won't even let you approve the bill. It's like having a built-in safety check that stops costly mistakes right in their tracks. So we've got the basics plugged in, but now for the really cool part. Let's talk about how we turn this simple bill into powerful business intelligence. This is where you stop just paying bills and you start understanding your spending. You see, every single line on that bill tells a story, and the quality of your financial reports, it's decided right here in these fields. A clear description, the right GL code, the correct tax treatment, this is what turns a bunch of raw numbers into a clear picture of your company's financial health. This one is simple. Just look at the invoice from your supplier. Do they show a subtotal and then add VAT on a separate line? Well, that's tax exclusive. Or is the VAT already baked into the final prices they've listed? That's tax inclusive. Picking the right one here is so important for making sure your VAT reporting is accurate and saves you a ton of headaches later on. Now this is one of Xero's secret weapons. Tracking categories let you slice and dice your financial data without having to mess around with clunky spreadsheets. Have you ever wanted to know, really know, how much the marketing department is spending or if that big project is actually profitable? By tagging each line item with a tracking category, your reports can instantly give you those answers. It's so powerful. And here's a fantastic pro tip for you. If you buy the same things over and over again, set them up in Xero as products and services. Then, the next time you go to enter a bill for that item, you just select it, and bam! It autofills the description, the price, the account code, and even the tax rate. It's a huge time saver, sure, but even more importantly, it keeps everything consistent. Okay, we've entered the bill, we've coded it perfectly. Now what? Now we manage its journey through the business. And this is where the process itself becomes your system of control. Xero gives you this really clear 3-step workflow. So think of it in 3 stages. First, you have draft. That's your holding area for bills that aren't quite ready. Then, awaiting approval means it's been sent off for review. And once it gets the green light, it moves to awaiting payment, where it sits fully approved, just waiting to be paid. Each stage has a really clear purpose. And you've got to understand this. This is not just about clicking a few buttons. This workflow is your internal control system. It makes sure that no bill gets paid without a proper review, and it creates a bulletproof audit trail that protects your company's cash. Simple as that. So we've just walked through how to master this whole process manually, step by step. But now, let's talk about taking it to the next level. Let's talk about using automation to achieve true effortless control. I absolutely love this quote because it is so true. A bad accounts payable system doesn't suddenly explode. It's not some big, loud failure. It's more like a slow, quiet leak, dripping away your efficiency and accuracy through rushed entries and work that, honestly, shouldn't even be manual anymore. And this really lays out the 2 paths you can take, right? There's the path of quiet failure, which leads to messy data and constantly putting out fires. Or there's the controlled process we've been talking about today, which leads to clean data, rock-solid controls, and reports that you can actually bet the farm on. And this is where the magic of automation tools comes in. Just picture this. You get an invoice in your email. You just forward it, and an automation tool reads it, pulls out all the key data, attaches the original file, and then creates a perfectly coded draft bill in Xero for you. It completely eliminates the tedious manual work and ensures your data is clean from the very start. By combining this deliberate process with smart automation, you can go from being buried under a mountain of invoices to being in complete command of your accounts payable. The payoff? More time in your day, data you can actually trust, and real financial clarity. So the only question left is, are you ready to take control?